So today I'm in Calvi, in the northwest of the island of Corsica, which is 100 miles south of the French Riviera. Takes about 6 hours in a ferry to come to Corsica, or you can fly from Nice. It's only about 40 minutes. Corsica is French, and most people here would speak French, but there is also a Corsican language. Corsica wasn't always part of France. In fact, it was part of the Genovese Empire, the city-state of Genoa. And in fact, Corsicans believe that Christopher Columbus, who came from Genoa, was actually born in Corsica. And they're very proud of that. I think that's very much disputed by some historians, but the Corsicans certainly believe that Christopher Columbus was born here, and there are some statues to Christopher Columbus here. But Calvi is probably one of the most beautiful parts of Corsica, and I'll show you around. I'm walking along a little railway line that runs along the north coast of Corsica. L'Île Rousse is one of the ports that the ferries from mainland France come in. It's where we came in on the ferry from Nice. And L'Île Rousse is about 15 kilometers to the east of Calvi, and this little railway line goes right along the length of the beach at Calvi, which is a very long beach going right along the Bay of Calvi. People ask, who's famous that comes from Corsica? The most famous son of Corsica is Napoleon Bonaparte. He was born in Ajaccio, which is on the west coast of Corsica, and of course it's probably the reason that he suffered from a bit of an inferiority complex that helped him rise to be Emperor of France. When he came to France, people misjudged him or looked down on him, didn't see him as talented because he was Corsican. If you're into water sports and things like that, this is definitely the place to come to. The citadel at Calvi is pretty high. You get stunning views all around Calvi from here. It really is an incredible citadel and old town. And this is a typical sort of Genovese structure of a fort. The population of Calvi is less than 6,000 people, so it's actually no bigger than a small town in the UK. And in fact, the population of Corsica as a whole is just somewhere over 300,000, about 350,000. Hard to see how it could be self-sustaining if it weren't part of France. So it's actually quite poor. In fact, of all the 25 or so regions in France, Corsica would rank as one of the poorest. Obviously, in places like Calvi, by far their main industry will be tourism. In the high season, the population will swell dramatically, multiple times more than the normal population. And although Calvi has some really good produce, you know, charcuterie, cheeses, wine, that actually accounts for probably less than 10% of its total GDP, whereas tourism will account for a much larger proportion than that. It's not by any means a rich country, but nevertheless it feels very, very modern. The facilities are pretty fantastic, some beautiful hotels and apartments. This morning we visited a beautiful little chapel called Notre Dame de la Serra, which has an incredible commanding position over Calvi, and from there you get these beautiful views of the Bay of Calvi. I came to Calvi. I climbed right up to this little church, but today it's far too hot. In the past I've been off season, perhaps at Easter or in the autumn, and there you can walk up a mountain, but walking up in sort of 32-degree heat is probably not ideal. Camp Rafale is the home of France's 2nd Foreign Parachute Regiment. So seeing military planes fly overhead and parachutists coming out is quite a common occurrence. Today I've come to l'Île Rousse, which is French for the Red Island. Because Corsica used to belong to the Kingdom of Genoa in Italy, it was originally called Isola Rosa, which is Italian for Red Island. And in fact, Île Rousse is one of only 3 places in Corsica that have a French name. Everything else is in Italian, like Bonifacio in the south, Porto Vecchio in the south-east. And l'Île Rousse was founded by Pasquale Paoli in 1758, the Corsican nationalist who tried to make Corsica independent from Genoa and then from France. And he wanted to try to cut off shipping from Calvi in the northwest and Genoa on the mainland. So he created this port. And we love l'Île Rousse as much as we love anywhere in Corsica. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Very small, population is less than 4,000, but again, huge amount of tourism. And of course, it has the port, and you can go on the ferry from here. We'll be going back to Nice on the ferry in a couple of days' time. Named after the red stones that are all around me here. You can see them from quite a distance coming in the ferry. Climbing up a peak on the red rocks, more like cliffs, and I'm not great with heights at the best of times, and I can tell you this is pretty high, so it's quite a climb. I don't remember this path being open the last time I came. I certainly wasn't as high up as this on this rock, which is called La Pietra, and there's a lighthouse right at the top. But I can tell you it's pretty steep. ferry behind me is heading for Toulon, which is on the south coast of France, but further along to the west. And the ferry that will come in tomorrow will be going to Nice, and that's the one that I'll be on. Hopefully their air conditioning is working, but it really is beautiful up here. Coming down is a lot easier than going up. I should probably be doing something more like this today. So that's it. You could probably see the ferry behind me coming in. That's the ferry for Nice, which will be a 6-hour crossing, but there are restaurants and bars and so on the ship. I hope you've enjoyed this video of Corsica and that you'll visit it at some point. Cheers.